Hey everyone, and welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Masterpiece Dark Amber LeoPrime number MP-48 Plus of the line. We'll go ahead and put them off to the side real quick because we're going to look at the box, which yes is a very Beast Wars Masterpiece box. You got Transformers Masterpiece and the Beast Wars logo. This is actually Beast Wars 2, but yeah, you got Dark Amber LeoPrime there on the cover, you know, all black and silver and teal and all that stuff. You got the Maximal symbol down there, long life design and all that stuff. Up here you got Transformer Masterpiece. On the side you have him in his line mode. On this side you have him in his robot mode. On the bottom you have a bunch of copyrights and warnings. And of course on the back you have a bunch of product shots and more stuff written in Japanese and what's in the box and all that stuff. And of course you have the instructions, which interestingly enough kind of don't cover everything that the Lio Convoy instructions did, but does cover most of it. And you have the collector's card, which is actually apparently just a kind of slightly photoshopped version of the Lio Convoy version. And you guys got some bio stuff and tech specs right down there and all that stuff. Yeah. Yep. Dark Amber LeoPrime. Yes, things are changing a bit. That's kind of a sign like they're LeoPrime instead of Lio Convoy because their whole naming convention, they've kind of changing stuff. So now they're kind of making it more cohesive across both Takara and Hasbro. So, yep, he's now LeoPrime. That's the thing. On top of that, this is not... Okay, so there's a weird thing going on. So in the show, Beast Wars 2, my understanding was an episode which had some sort of copy machine thing or something, and it was made a copy of Lio Convoy, who looked, well, was a gray lion with this black mane, and it was they called him kind of Copy Convoy or whatever, or Black Convoy, because they also got a toy, but the toy was a black lion with a gray mane, or silver mane, I guess, reversing the colors, and that was a thing. And now we, of course, got the Lio Convoy Masterpiece figure, and then you got this thing, which is not the Copy Convoy from the show. In fact, they made a whole new thing where basically this was the Lio Convoy's body, but infused with Unicron's energy. So he's actually got bits of Unicrons in him, so technically this could be considered a Masterpiece Unicron. You got all that? Okay. So anyway, yeah, you can see it is a black lion with a silver mane, and you guys put him some teal toenails, I guess. You guys see all that, the black and whatnot, so you got the silver, and you got on the here, you got some, you know, teal whiskers and some teal in the red in the eyes right there. Fancy picked out. You got all that gray stuff. There's a little missile right there, because, yep, you can still store that. And you got all this black and gray, you got the gray tail and all that stuff. And there's really not a whole lot here, except you can kind of see some robot bits. But the news thing is, unlike Lio Convoy Masterpiece, because the robot is largely black instead of red and blue, it's overall much more cohesive alt mode. It actually, I think, pulls together better color-wise than the original Masterpiece figure did. The other thing is, also, this is not black paint, unlike, you know, Lio Convoy had white paint. This is not black paint. This is just bare black plastic, for better or for worse. This may have led to some small issues here and there, but we'll get into those when we get into those. But, yeah, it still looks real nice, like this. Posability, yeah, it's not a whole lot. Again, you got a weird thing like he can open his mouth, open and close his jaw a little bit right here. This can open slightly, but the more you open it, the worse it looks. The head can go side to side a bit here and there, up and down, not really. I guess you can make adjustments to the mane and stuff as you want, but also down here, you got this slight rotation there. You have a hinge here ratcheted, and you have this is on a weird ratchet sort of on a swivel. You got that ratcheting elbow, and the paws down here can turn left and right and also swivel up and down. So there's that, same on both sides. And back here you have, well, forward and back there, you do have a little bit of outward too. Yeah, you got that swivel. You got this joint right here, if it will cooperate. You got that joint, you got a swivel here, you got that joint, and again, right here you have tilting and up and down as well, although not a whole lot up and down. And the tail here, once I get this all realigned, yeah, the tail here can go up and down right there, and there's a hinge here and a hinge here. There's your posability. Not a whole lot, mind you, but a decent amount. You guys have a couple features in this mode, namely you can do things like, you know, swivel these around, and there's missiles, like I said, there's missiles there. You can pull them out slightly to get them to swivel up and down a bit. Up here, of course, you could take this and move it back. Bring this up and do that around and open those up just like before on Lio Convoy. And bring up the cannons. And the other thing on mine is this main piece right here. You see this? It's just a simple mushroom peg. Yeah, it comes out. On mine, that comes off. This main piece comes off really easily. It's really unfortunate and annoying. And I'm probably, almost every single time I like mess with it, because it's kind of a weird stiff hinge plus. Yeah. Let's see if I can. There we go. Yeah, but it's kind of weird like that. But yeah, you got all that stuff. And of course, there's this piece, which you can't do much with this in the line mode, but these extra pieces here, if I can get those out, can plug in, can become blasters on both of them. Or you can, you know, if I can, goes in there tight, yeah. They use that if you want to turn them into missile launchers instead. But weirdly enough, unlike before, there's no weird mismatched missiles. All the missiles are uniform gray. There's no weird paint mismatch this time around, unlike Lio Convoy. So that's another bit of uniformity that is kind of helpful. So all that stuff, unfortunately, you can't leave these stored in the gun ports because otherwise you can't close it all up. And of course, you can just open that up and fold that in and all that stuff. So far, I'm surprised this is cooperating. It's not popped off yet, but now having said that, it probably will. It likes to pop off, particularly when I'm trying to get this folded down properly. Because, yep, there it goes. Yep, it just popped itself off real easily. These hinges right here are the stiff ones. So because of that, it doesn't like to actually stay on this peg, and I have to constantly fix it. Yeah. Which is a little annoying to say the least. And of course, yeah, you can see right here, you can do the little, claw swipe thing, both sides. Right there, folds up nice and neatly down there, and there you go. That's pretty much his feature set for Lion mode. Pretty decent little line. Well, little's kind of a weird term, but yeah. Right now he's kind of tilted on the sides because I think that's one thing. Yeah, this right here, this does not like to stay tabbed in. It's supposed to tab in right here. It does not like to stay tabbed in. You can see it likes to pop itself back out. It doesn't like to stay tabbed in. This might be one of the problems because the lack of paint may have caused some weird tolerance issues, unfortunately. Although that's a weird one because it's clear it goes in and then pops itself back out like it's the tab is too thick or something, which would be the opposite of the problem you think you have. But anyway, that's the thing, and it just did it again. Regardless, real quick comparison. Here's the original Lio Convoy, which you can see, I guess what I was talking about, very much stark difference, black versus white, gold versus silver. And yeah, the faces definitely painted up differently, and you can see, yeah, what I was talking about with cohesiveness. You got the black, pretty much just blacks and silvers here, but here you got red and blue sticking out, and it kind of is. This is the thing where it's like, yeah, this is why I think this one has a better alt mode, just because color cohesion's a lot better. So you got that going on. Anyway, we're going to get this guy transformed into robot mode real quick. And yeah, the transformation video for Lio Convoy will be linked because they're exactly the same. So there's no reason to film it again. So I'm just going to go transform real quick and we'll get to the robot mode. Here it is. Yeah, it's like, well, it's a black repaint of a Prime or Convoy or whatever you want to do. But yeah, it's, again, mostly black and silver with some teal highlights. You can see some up close stuff. Again, the face, you got a nice darker color for the faceplate as well, and nice teal eyes. You got the silver and the gray here. You got the maximal symbol because, again, it's actually apparently a zombie version of Lio Convoy, so that's the thing. You got his big old shoulders, line bits and stuff. You got his, there's all that stuff. You got the teal, black, and grays, and more teal, and all that stuff. You got his line pause shell now back here and everything. You got all that. Tamashii stage port as per usual with a lot of this stuff. And there you go. That's your lot. And, yeah. That's the look of this guy. Of course, he is, pretty much like the first version, although big thing here, the big name of the game here, the problem is simply, well, he's got some weird issues stemming from, possibly from lack of paint. Basically, the lack of paint may have thrown off some tolerances, which means some parts are weirdly loose, like this bit likes to come, like this will like sometimes just start drooping down, and let's see what else was there. Oh, like this right here, this hinge does not tab in properly. It just kind of, it's not like it pops itself out. It doesn't stay tabbed in. It's really easy for it to accidentally just come undone. So that's a little unfortunate. His head platform is really loose. And so on and so forth. Just little things. Like also his heels are kind of loose. They're not firm about, getting to where they need to go or anything like that. So that's a little unfortunate. Yeah, he's still pretty much, the same as, at least sculpting wise, pretty much there's no difference from the original Lio Convoy. Fortunately, like I said, I think he does not come with his, the Cybertron blaster or Maximal blaster, however you want to say it. So that's unfortunate. Come with that, and well, but he does come with the, this little thing to attach all the missiles and stuff. You can still, still got the tab and slot. You can still put that in his hand. That is pretty much actually still works for the most part. It's not the tightest, of the tab slots, but it holds well enough. There you go on that front. And just get that out of his hand. Of course, the other, all the features, again, the whole, you can still use those from the line mode. You can still open those up if you want, although it can only really point sideways. You can still do that weird thing where it's like this was pointing up or whatever it was. I don't remember. It's not in the instructions anymore. You can still do these, open those slide out, and still do that. You can still, twist the line paws around and still do that if you want. All those still things you can still do. All that stuff, if you want to. Oops. There you go, line that up. These can still open, and that was the water nozzle or whatever. That's a thing still. And you still have this little opening door, which still shows the matrix chamber spark crystal. And there's even a little maximal symbol put in right there. Nice green right there too. I guess probably to show it's Unicron of sorts. Oh yeah, the other thing is this. I believe it's still the thing case, which this can. What was it? I think store like this. Weirdly enough, that can store right there still like that. Although, if I recall, it stresses out the plastic when you do it. But you're supposed to be able to do that. Doesn't do it very well though. But yeah, that's a thing. So, yep, still the usual. Posability, again, unaffected mostly. You got ball jointed head, left and right, up and down, lots of waggle. The shoulder bits can kind of get out of the way. You got, the hinges and stuff to get those out of the way. So you got, that's one other thing. This is a really loose one. I'm not sure. I think it's supposed to be a ratchet or something. So it's very it's friction, at least. I think it's supposed to be a ratchet. This shoulder is also a little loose. Got outward. You got that as butterfly, but again, mine doesn't tab in very well. You can see it actually unseats itself very easily. Bicep swivel, that's nice and tight. You do have double jointed elbow, though I've heard reports of one of the, Yeah, I've heard reports of some people having issues where the upper joint does not like to turn. If that's the problem, there's a screw right there. Just loosen that screw and that should improve things. The hands are on swivels and they have a hinge right there as well. So you can have all that stuff, and the fingers are on the hinges. They're all just one hinge, but they're there. The thumb's on a hinge itself. So you got some degree of posability there. Of course, the line paws can, swivel and right there and all that stuff, just like before. All the same posability as the line mode. You got a waist swivel, nice and clicky. The ab crunch, 2 clicks forward, and it exposes some of that stuff, which is nice. On mine, I've noticed also when I'm trying to click it back, it sometimes stops there and does not want to do that final click, which is weird. Hips, forward that far, nice clicky there. Back that far, again, more clicking. Outward, lots of clicks there. You got the thigh swivel. Knees are double jointed, so you got that much range. Sometimes it gets a little difficult to get them back to where they need to be for him to be able to stand. You do have a swivel down here as well. You have a ratcheted forward and back joint. And the heel can, move forward and back and fold up as you need to. And this, of course, can rotate up and forward and back, and this can hinge up and down a little bit as well. So you do have a degree of posability. Just, some of it you kind of have to work for, and some of it works just fine. Again, loose parts, unfortunately, particularly if I mind the shoulder right here, because this one's actually all right, but this one's just super loose, which is unfortunate. But it still looks really good. But real quick though, once again, comparison. Here's the original Lio Convoy, who's leaning to one side. Yep, original Lio Convoy, you can see. Again, repaints and stuff. Again, it still looks good in robot mode, and this one also looks good. You can see this one has a lot of the white and peeking through with red and blue and all that stuff, but this one's mostly almost a monochrome type of thing. So you got that all going on, but still looks good. This looks good, but yeah, this one also has a better alt mode. I'm going to check that. Yeah, that's also a friction. Okay, I was making sure. This is a friction hinge back and forth there too. I was worried about that, but yeah, it's noticeably tighter. But yeah. Anyways, you got the Cybertron blaster that he does not, which is unfortunate. So yeah, there you go. Dark Amber LeoPrime. He looks great. He's got some guys. I'm hearing wide reports of little minor QC issues, mainly loose tabs and joints. I got that couple of those things don't tab. I've noticed that, particularly going transforming it, like some of the things just not want to tab in very solid. Like they'll tab in, but then they'll just come out, pop themselves out, or they come loose really easily. That on mine, particularly the left shoulder, is really loose, both on the butterfly and on the just forward and back. I think the alt mode looks a lot better than the original's alt mode, just because it's more color cohesive. And I do generally like the color scheme. So yeah, it's one of those things also, by the way, yeah, if you just are sick of black repaints or whatever, then this is not for you. But if you're like me, you like the good old black repaint of the Optimus or Convoy or whatever, this looks nice looking one for sure. Again, it does have the black plastic is not paint. So it's not as painted as heavily as the Lio Convoy. So some people that's going to bother. And again, the loose joints is going to be probably, I think, the biggest annoyance. And again, possibly yours might have elbows so tight that I've heard someone actually snap there. So just be careful. Give it a very gentle test. The elbow, very gentle test swing. And if it very gently, and if it starts to give you a lot of resistance, go ahead and loosen the screw a bit until it feels nice. It's still tight, but not ridiculously tight. So yeah, it's overall still really good. It's just, I think it's one of those things where it's like something's lost because I think the black of paint kind of hurt some of the tolerances, so it's kind of looser than it should be. But at the same time, I think the alt mode overall looks a lot better, and just generally it's a really good color scheme. So it's one of those things like, if you're at all in the stores stuff and black repaints, this might be up your alley. This will cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of about $110, $120, somewhere in that range. I think, if I recall correctly. Yeah, somewhere in the neighborhood of like $110, $120, maybe $130. And for that, considering what you're getting, it's a pretty solid figure. And again, also got a robot mode, and still the transformation is still pretty simple, but not too simple, if that makes sense. it's easy enough to understand. It's actually a pretty straightforward transformation despite what it does. So it's like, yeah, it's a overall pretty good figure for what you're paying for it. And yeah, if you're into Beast Wars and black repaints, worth checking out. But if either of those things bother you, then, or you're not interested, then you probably want to go ahead and just, spend your money elsewhere. So that's it. I hope you found this video informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitter. I'm at NemesisPrime1. Check out my co-host, cohost.com/Nemesis-Prime. Check out my Coffee and my Patreon. And I shall see you next time with another video review.